I'm sorry. I didn't realize that the video was off as I was talking. And I'm not sure where I left off. But again, this is my first video. And I'm just trying something because I feel that we need, as people, to have a conversation, a real conversation. Because, hard things happen. And if we all accept that those hard things happen, and that we can move on in our lives, then, we can make this world a better place. I was cussing one time about it, and a man looked at me and says, "Why, you can't change the world. The world is this way, and we just have to accept it." And I've never accepted that answer, because I think we can change it because it's us who built it this way. Or at least allowed people to build the world this way. And, you remember the Gulf spill of oil? That valve that was just shooting oil up constantly in the Gulf destroyed the Gulf area, people's fishing livelihoods that they've been there for generations, and destroyed it. And later on the story came out that to put a safety valve that would have made that accident not possible only cost $2.5 million. $2.5 million to a big oil company is like, 10 cents in an ordinary worker's pocket, right? It's the same thing, value the same thing. And the company decided not to spend the $2.5 million to put the safety valve on that pipe. And thus, what happened? Entire disaster. And all they wanted to do was to able to tell their shareholders, "We saved you $2.5 million because we didn't put a new pump on, a safety pump that would have cut the oil, and it would not have come out in that load into the Gulf." These are the kind of people that are running our world, because these companies have money to run the government, and they do, right? When are we as people going to understand that and start working for a different way of living, right? Before the labor movement, kids used to work 12 to 15 hours a day. Adults, forget it. No day off. Are you kidding? Then came the unions. And started out with the train car, the porters. That began a movement. And before long, the unions got 5-day work weeks, 40 hours a week, and Saturday, Sunday off. That was a result of unions. Now, don't think I'm in favor this or favor that. No, I'm telling you the things that improve human life while it's living on Earth. Because we don't seem to consider that much anymore. We don't seem to consider human life and the quality that human life is living. Because if we did, would we have people living on the streets in richest supposed countries in the world? Africa has poverty because of the thieves that have been stealing its wealth. And the thieves' ability to brutalize and brainwash the people with religion. And again, I'm saying to you, I can't believe in a God that sanctified Allah sanctified the enslavement of Africans, and Jesus Christ sanctified the enslavement of Africans. I could never even consider that divine. How could I? But you have what, 4 billion people actually who believe in that, and that's fine. But don't try to convince the rest of the world that those religions are going to be anything beneficial to humanity. There was a little post on Facebook, and there was a group of African kids, and this white guy had put treats in a basket at the end of a little runway, like in the backyard. And he said to all the kids, whoever wins gets the basket of goodies, right? And the kids, all started holding hands, and they all walked. They didn't run. They walked towards the bucket and shared out the entire bucket with everybody. So the guy comes up to them and asks them, why did you do that? And one of the kids said, well, if one of us have and the rest of us don't, then nobody's happy. And so, on that principle, America, how could anybody be happy in America when America doesn't care about a good portion of their citizens? Robbing their rights constantly, shooting them down on the street, unarmed. It would almost be different if who they were shooting had equal weaponry to defend themselves. Hunters, bull hunters, say they become bull hunters because they want to give the animal a fair chance, right? So he says the bow, his skill of the bow, and the animal's skill for survival is equal. Because the bullet, you just pull the trigger and away that's dead. But human beings to human beings don't even consider that. They say a man who is unarmed and the man who is armed says he fears for his life and he kills the unarmed man. And then people protest on the street and people are wondering, so why are they protesting violence and they're destroying the cities and oh my God, lawlessness? And it's like, you have to wonder. The lie that has infected the entire world pretty much, because everybody has to play by those rules. They control the shipping of goods. They control by proxy a lot of the countries in the world. So when is human beings going to decide they want a different kind of world to live in? Because I think it's coming to be about time that human beings decide what kind of world they truly want to live in. And we've got to end the conspiracy. But, I mean, it's being ended because, a lot of black people are waking up to the point that, Kemet, aka Egypt, is just not any other kind of people but African people. And that if African people built those things then their descendants, us, all the peoples with the black skin, have some of that genetic memory bank within us. And that's a key, you know, the genetic memory bank when you may be 2 or 3 million years old. So we'll leave that one for next time. And this is the Nattyral Guru. And I apologize because the other half was cut, and then I realized it, turned it back on, and just tried to make it up. But at the same time, you know, I'm learning, and this is the raw me. So give thanks and praise, Rastaman, Amen Ra, to the ancestors, right? Because Anaiman don't call nothing Western divine. Okay? One love. Don't forget to join the Nattyral Guru show. And now you see, I've been watching people and now I know. Subscribe and like. I thank you again, and we'll see you next time. One love.